Dance Decoded.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to Dance Decoded. In this episode, we will be deep diving into the competition industry, what makes it tick, and what makes a competition worth it for you and your dancer. We are also so excited to go more in depth on a judge's perspective, how we are hired, and are all the standards being met as judges, allowing your dancer to put their best foot forward in upcoming competitions. I'm Gabriel.
I'm Veronique, and this is Dance Decoded.
Welcome back to episode 3V. How has your day been?
It has been good. I'm so excited to be talking about this episode today and just giving people a bit more knowledge on behind the scenes.
Absolutely, but first I need to mention what a freaking fun weekend we had last weekend.
It was so much fun. Very productive,
epic.
but so much fun. I had the best
For
time.
the listeners who's unaware, we had a promo shoot weekend last weekend. We had an amazing photo shoot at a gorgeous venue with a professional photographer. Absolutely amazing results. And then on Sunday, we had a phenomenal opportunity to record our very first interview. Now, I'm not going to say who that is quite yet.
No.
You'll have to wait and find out, but I can guarantee you it's a good one.
You're going to want to listen, for sure.
So let's dive right into it.
Yeah.
What should we be looking for in competitions? How can we make it worth it? All the things, fees, awards, structures. Let's just talk about all the things.
Yeah, because I feel like so many people just enter the comps because everyone else is entering. There's not really any knowledge and understanding. Is this even worth it? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, lately it's like competitions are trendy. If everyone is going to this competition, that's the competition of the year. If everyone is going to that competition, then that is the competition of the year. I feel like it's very trendy and very cliquey at this point in time. And at the end of the day, everybody's coming together after the competition and moaning about this, that, and all of the above. But they miss the fact that they chose to go to this competition. So how can you moan now?
You paid the entry fees.
If you go to a competition and it's not what you expected, then you did not do your homework properly.
Absolutely. And there's so much that you need to know that all those complaints you have afterwards, let's help you not have them anymore.
So let's start with talking entry process and how that affects the rest of the event. This is a big one because this is the start of the entire competition process, and if started correctly and done correctly, everything towards the end will be fine as well. So what I mean by that is, if you're looking for a competition, find out how their entries work firstly. Do they have online entries? Do they have spreadsheet entries? Because this affects stuff like, will the correct name be on the certificate? Will spelling be correct? And another thing is, if entries are manual, that means scoring will be manual as well. And manual scoring, unfortunately, means at least 6 times where people can put their fingers in those scores and adjust as they see fit. Now, personally, as you guys know, I am the CEO of Elements of Dance, a competition in South Africa. We've been hosting regional and national championships in South Africa for almost 6 years now. It is very important that you have a system that handles your scoring correctly, as to leave all room for error out when it comes to anyone adjusting scores.
Oh, yes.
So, from the time a score is submitted until the time the awards are being read out, there's about 3 to 6 different people who have the opportunity to adjust scores according to their will without anyone else knowing this. And when saying this, I'm speaking from experience on many levels. All right, so primarily that all gets affected by the system that receives the entries. If the entry system is automatic, then everything onwards will probably be automated as well and digitized. And there will be less opportunities for anyone to adjust scores. Now, this has been a thing in South Africa. I've seen this firsthand where after judges have completed scoring, someone in management or in the organizational team will notice that something according to their bias is not correct, and they would edit scores, meaning the final product that is the results on stage at the end of the day, the awards, does not reflect what the judges scored, because there was someone else that had another bias. And this is very prominent when a judge actually sits there at the judging table and goes, that's not right. I did not score that dancer first place. And believe me, the judges notice this. The mommies notice this. Mommies notice something is wrong. They probably don't know what is going on, but they definitely know something is wrong. No, I personally, for my company, I had a 40,000 Rand system built to make sure that no one has the opportunity to adjust scores. That's also why our scores are being published in real time. As soon as a judge clicks submit, that score is immediately shown on the dancer's dashboard and the studio's dashboard, meaning there's no way from the time the judge presses submit for anyone to adjust scores, meaning you get an honest representation. There's no adjustments, no biases. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for competitions that have competition management software. That's one of the first questions you ask, because if they have that, then most of the irregularities can be diverted.
I think it's so freaking important, especially for the dancers, because my experience the last couple of years adjudicating for a specific competition where this actually took place, there wasn't a proper system in place. And so utterly embarrassing for the young ladies on stage. What would happen is someone who actually got, like, let's say 5th place would be called out as first. And then in front of the entire audience, after she already received her medal, had to take the medal off in front of everyone, give it back to the first position, and go stand with her certificate. And it didn't happen just once. It happened at almost every single competition. It is so sad, humiliating. It's not a joke. It's not funny. It was horrible. And as the judges, you are so right. We were standing backstage going, wait a minute, how did that happen? You know it as a judge. You know who like really truly deserved that position. Oh, it was just an absolute mess up. So yes, you need a proper system. You need to invest. Parents, make sure of this.
On this note, you know what? I've had situations with my competition before where there was an error. And I have to say, this was mostly back when we didn't have the finalized system, when stuff was still manual. We had mistakes happen. We did one time give third place to the third to the first and vice versa. That did happen at our competition. But the thing to me is, you do not want that person, that third placer who got the first and now has to give it back. You don't want that dancer to feel bad because it is your fault that they got the wrong medal. So in my situation, I did not make a big fuss about it on stage. As soon as they walked off, I went to them, I took the 2 dancers, I told them, listen, this is what happened, but now I'm going to give you both first. Okay, my human error, not the dancer's error. I cannot embarrass the dancer on stage because of my error. That is stupidity.
Yeah. And I mean, every dancer up there is like, when they get called for first and they're not used to it, for example, the heart races and they're excited and it's like, you know, like, finally I've achieved this. And then it just gets like, oh, my bad. Just give it back quick.
And another thing is, if a competition is working via Google Sheet, no, that does not mean the stuff is digitized. They can still edit scores 6 times after the judge has submitted his scores. And I've seen this happen in real time because I worked for a championship in South Africa who shall not be named for a lot of years. And I know for a fact that in a spreadsheet, you know, more than one person can have access to a spreadsheet.
Yes.
As the judges typed in their scores, someone behind the scenes had a laptop open on the Google Sheet and he just changed scores as the judges were scoring. So no, the most important part of who's the correct competition for me this year, make sure the way the competition organizer works is efficient. Quick, efficient, online entries, online scoring, online everything just makes it so much clearer, leaves no room for human error or ill-intended issues.
And I don't know if a person could go so far as to say, like, if you as a teacher are entering these kids, ask the organizer, ask them, just want to check, what system are you guys using? Like, you're not attacking anyone, but you are definitely protecting your dancers.
There's a lot of systems out there that competitions can make use of. They don't have to go the route like me to build my own insane ecosystem, which is what I did.
I mean, it works.
But there's, it's amazing. It didn't work so great in October, but we've since got all the kinks worked out, and it works like amazing. There's so many other systems out there to look for. Dance Bug, Dance Comp Genie. There's another one I can't think of now. They're all amazing systems, and the reason why the competition directors aren't using them is because they actually cost a lot. These software are not cheap, but at the end of the day, it's a quality of life for your business. You need this. So my first priority is make sure your competition, how are they organized? Are they organized manually via paper and pen? Also, if there's any scoring happening with paper and pen, that is a red flag as well. In this day and age, nobody should be sitting with a pen and paper at a judging table. So
I know there's so many Eisteddfods that still do that. So many Eisteddfods.
I mean, I guess Eisteddfod level, that's fine because they are not on the grand scale. I mean, they don't potentially have the funding for these fantastic systems, and also the standard is totally different. Eisteddfod level is way lower than competition level, unfortunately, and also the entry fees and the results, it kind of evens out because you do good very easily. You don't really get a lot of opportunities from Eisteddfods, and they use paper trails. So you just know your audience, know what you're going for. If you're going for an Eisteddfod, don't expect competition level anything. If you're going to a professional competition, it should not look like an Eisteddfod. It should not be run like an Eisteddfod. So let's talk about rewards, awards, opportunities. What are these competitions actually giving you? Because let me tell you, I've taken my dance team to a couple of competitions where we paid as a team over 20,000 Rand in entry fees and accommodation and stuff, and we walked away with about 100 Rands worth of printed paper, and my kids were devastated. Not even a mil, and it's not like we didn't do good, we did brilliantly. And you leave the provincial round with a piece of paper. Can we not?
That's ridiculous. That is just so insane.
And I'm not even saying these events that only give you a piece of paper, they're not even that cheap. They're just as expensive as the decent competitions, and they're literally giving you a piece of paper in your hand. Bye, see you at nationals. And there's more than one that do this. More than one, actually.
Yeah, and like let's freaking face the facts. You're going to a comp for bragging rights. You want something. You want to win something, and if you're winning first, you want a big ass trophy. Like you don't want to be walking away with just a gold medal, which is also great. It's amazing. It's wonderful, but you want to see where the money is going to.
Also, we need to remember that these dancers are kids. They don't necessarily understand that I did so brilliantly, but I'm literally getting nothing. They need something physical to touch, to wear, to hold in their hands. That is what makes your child happy. Yeah, definitely. Because, I mean, we've even been to comps where there were medals, but they were, this is terrible to say, but they were so cheaply made that it broke on the first fall, kind of a thing. Look, we're going to go into what these things cost in a little bit, but you don't need to give out the cheapest medal. It depends on what you're giving medals for, because I've been to competitions who literally give out 3 medals per category. The top 3 in every age category gets a medal, and that's it. Where I don't believe in that. I believe in having a grading system or a scoring system that enables everyone to receive some form of medal. Whether it's a bronze or a gold or a silver or an opus or a platinum or a freaking whatever you want to call it. But it's imperative to me and my company that every single child walks out of that venue with something in their hand or around their neck. Doesn't matter how quote unquote badly they did. It's not about that. We are not in the business of breaking kids down. We are not in the business of making kids feel like I'm doing this for nothing or this isn't worth it. We are trying to make these kids feel like dance is creating something for them. Dance is there for them. You want them to continue as well.
And I think that's That's awesome, because like save your fancy schmancy expensive things for the top 3 so that they still have their standout, which is amazing. But so that the other kids are like, okay, I got this color medal this year. Next year I'm getting the next one. And so on and so forth. There's a goal being set, which is awesome.
Also, another thing I noticed is nationals in South Africa. How many freaking national rounds do we have? Like, every competition is popping up tomorrow and they suddenly have a nationals. But I want to briefly talk at opportunities from these competitions and nationals, because at the end of the day, why are we doing these competitions? Yes, the teachers are doing it to kind of build reputation. The kids, I mean, it doesn't really mean that much for a kid to win the title these days. I mean, we spoke about this in a previous episode. No professional employer is going to ask you how many titles have you won, which championship did you win. They don't give a crap about stuff like that.
They don't care.
So at the end of the day, we need to offer these kids, these dancers, these teens, something worth it at these events. That's why personally I pivoted. Absolutely. That's why I pivoted towards scholarships. I mean, this year we have so many scholarships. It's not even possible. I mean, at nationals we'll be giving out scholarships to Oakfields College. We'll be giving out scholarships to Hope School of the Arts. And possibly another one as well, which I cannot name right now. So we really trying to give these dancers something else than a trophy or a scholarship or a qualification to an international championship, where also that's a very important one, is competing overseas and actually doing the international championships. But we also try to give them something that can jumpstart their careers. At the end of the day, we've all heard the saying, you can't make a career out of dance, and it's bullshit, because I know a lot of people, I'm one of them, who've made a successful career from the dance industry. So I'm very much trying at our events to give opportunities for after school growth, for career building, networking, like scholarships to HSA. I mean, imagine what a scholarship to HSA can mean for a 17-year-old.
Yeah, it's
a career starter. It's absolutely a career starter.
And I've met so many dancers that are 17 and 18 that know they love dance, but they're heartbroken because they don't know what to do after school. And so receiving a scholarship like that is almost like okay, cool, I can actually maybe do this. I can make it happen.
I can actually, maybe this is a viable career path. And I mean, it is. It's such a lucrative career. People don't understand how big the dance industry is. The South African competitive dance industry is worth over R1 billion.
Yeah, people aren't.
There's a lot of money in this industry.
How much is in here? That is so true. And another thing that I absolutely loved that you did at Nationals that I have not seen at a Nationals probably since COVID. Even before, I would even go so far as to say before COVID, you had workshops at Nationals with industry professionals, which was, I felt like such a freaking amazing opportunity to not only have choreographers notice you, but to also grow further in different styles and not just compete and simply get a medal. And I just don't see that. I don't see people doing Nationals and bringing in choreographers to work, or just the judges. Let the judges work with the kids so that you can see why they are judges. Why are they there?
Yeah.
You know?
This is turning into a ruthless plug for Elements, actually.
It is actually.
But
I'm so sorry.
You know what I'm trying to do with the with the workshops? I'm trying to give everyone the opportunity to work with people that they don't necessarily get the opportunity to work with. Like, we brought Rudy Smith to Gauteng, and we don't necessarily have the opportunity to train with Rudy a lot. Even if you're in Cape Town, his schedule is so crazy that not a lot of people get the opportunity to learn from him. And we had the opportunity to bring him to Gauteng so that he can present workshops here. And I feel like there's not enough of that. What happened to workshop culture? I mean, are the teachers so scared and so much hogging their students that they're not allowing their kids to learn from these big international names that actually have made glorious careers in the industry, international industry?
Yeah, and might even be scouting.
Who wouldn't want to learn from Rudy Smith? Who wouldn't want to learn from Hope? I mean, if you don't want to learn from these people, then you should not be in the industry, because this is what you need to do. If these people made it, in the industry, this is the blueprint for you to follow. You need to be in these circles. You need to network with people like this. How the hell are you going to get the opportunity to network with people like Rudy Smith if you can't be seen in his workshop?
Yeah, and I feel like teachers also forget, like, you're so scared to lose these dancers, if you will, if that is the situation. Sometimes parents also don't want to pay for it. We get it, guys. But what you don't understand is if your dancer that you trained is doing a video with one of these choreographers, that's marketing for you right there for your studio. Like, I just don't see how you're not seeing the connection, you know?
So on the note of workshops, we're side questing so bad right now.
Hectic.
I've tried putting together workshops all over the country, and most of the time they're not successful. You bring in big-ass choreographers who you pay an arm and a leg to be there. You pay a venue an arm and a leg. We're going to go into this later. And then the choreographer is standing there with like 6 kids in front of him or behind him trying to teach 6 kids. And we forget that these are professional people. They're used to classes of 90.
Literally.
So I want to tell you what happened now. So we started this workshop tour where we basically hire high-end choreographers. We travel with them to certain parts of the country and we present convention-style workshops. And so the first thing we tried was in Durban. It'll be on the 28th of February. And the support has been amazing. We currently have 56 dancers registered for the convention. Can you believe it?
That's freaking... I haven't heard of that in a long time. Usually it's like 20, 15, 12, maybe even less.
Imagine, it's going to be epic.
Yeah.
We are going to try to replicate these workshop tours in different parts of the country. So if you are a studio out there interested in having us come to your region to come host a convention with 3 or 4 choreographers, hit us up at Dance Decoded Podcast and we can have a conversation about it.
So another competition I noticed that has come from America to South Africa is Star Power. I think I'm correct in saying Robin owns that comp. As well as Next Level of Dance. But what I absolutely love about Star Power from what I'm seeing is it's almost like this community feel on stage every time there is an award ceremony. These kids are actually excited for prize giving. They're not like freaking out and nervous. It's so much fun. There's merch being thrown at the kids. It's awesome. But on top of that, the things the kids are walking away with, it's like these little like banner things that are hanging on sticks along with a medal, along with like, it's like a pin you put on, but it's almost like what you give the horses. It is beautiful. Like, I have not seen a kid walk out there with just like a medal and posing. Like, they literally, you can see where the money is going. It's being invested back into the children, you know? So Star Power I know is a comp that really offers a lot. I was actually taking a look at the Instagram page a second ago. You can just see where the money is going. You can understand it. Again, it's coming through from America. I know things are massive that side in terms of comps. I just wish, like, I even saw they have conventions for Star Power in America, like literal week-long conventions.
Star Power is huge over there.
Yeah, and they just bring in so many choreographers to work with these kids, and the kids are, it's almost like the convention is a separate competition to be noticed by the choreographers. So it's kind of also teaching them what that audition feel is going to feel like one day, you know? And I just wish we could bring this culture to South Africa in some shape or form in the South African way.
Now, we need to address the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
You said you can see where the money is going. Let's talk about the money aspect of a competition, because people are always, this competition is so expensive. They're making money out of us. We're actually not. Entry fees are expensive, but theaters are more expensive. No one likes having a competition in a school hall. Now, let's crunch some numbers here. The average theater charges between 30 and 60,000 rand per day.
Yeah.
So just when you ever see competition posters and you see they have a 6-day event at Levende Woord, imagine what it's costing them. Levende Woord charges 60,000 rand a day.
Yeah.
Times 6. That is why competitions are so expensive.
Yeah.
Another thing, where does the money go at competitions? Okay, so you paid your entry fees and your registration fees. Where does that go? First thing that happens is venues get selected and deposits paid way in advance. Okay?
Yeah.
Our events, the venues get booked almost a year in advance. So obviously there's already deposits that the company paid on venues, which need to come from the entry fees. The rest of the theatre rental needs to come from the entry fees. All the stock, all the merchandise needs to come from the entry fees. Staff payments. How many staff do you think a competition has? I have a permanent staff of 13, excluding my judges. Okay, they need to be paid. What do you think judges cost? Now, there are competitions in South Africa that pay their judges peanuts.
Yes.
I don't believe in that. I know that Element of Dance is the competition that pays the judges the most. I've heard this from many judges. So at the end of the day, you also need to remember that our adjudicators are professionals. They deserve a professional fee.
Yeah. No,
all of that comes from
so
the entry fees. Let's talk about medals. Some medals look cheap. Some medals look expensive. Do you know what a medal costs? The cheapest medal costs 20 Rand each. If you have, like, we give out a medal for every item. We have, at a decent regionals, we have about 270 items. 270 medals.
Yeah. That's not trophies. That's not anything else. Just a medal.
That's nothing. So also now, when you can see where the money goes at a competition, there's a lot of things that go into it. A lot of marketing, a lot of visuals, a lot of decor, a lot of banners, a lot of posters, a lot of things that cost. To brand anything costs you a crap load of money. So that end of the day, where your entry fees are going to, no one's pocket is being lined. I guarantee you that competition is making sense.
I spoke to a comp owner 2 years ago. Yeah, what was that, 2024? Yeah. Spoke to a comp owner in 2024, just being like, you know what, how much are you making any money from this? How much are you making? Is it even worth it? Because there was a time where I was like, man, I think I might want to get into this side of the industry, you know? And obviously at first it's a break-even kind of thing. You're not going to make much, what. But that year, based off of 2 comps, she was already in a profit margin of about 200K. And I was shooketh. What are your
I'm going to be
thoughts on
honest with
that?
you. I don't know what they're doing or how they're succeeding with that, because that's not possible. Well, it might be possible in their business structure. It depends the amount of income streams they have. Maybe they're not just making money from entries. Maybe they're selling a lot of merchandise. Maybe they're selling workshops. I don't know what they're selling, but honestly, that's not my profit margin. Not by half. Okay, we have a good profit margin because of the international tours we offer. That is the only thing in my company that really makes money, is the international tours. The regional events barely cover themselves. Whatever is left is used to make nationals as big and as spectacular as possible.
Yes. Yeah. It's such a... Because I know of many other comps as well that are also just completely breaking even and you know, pushing to... I wouldn't say survive, but pushing to keep themselves running and going, because they really truly have a passion for what they're doing as well, on top of
You know
the
which
business
competitions
aspect.
are making money? The only competitions making money are the ones we spoke of that give general pieces of paper and nothing else. Because if you can run 7 events a year and only give out paper, wow, you've made money then. No expenditures
that's true.
on medals, no expenditures on trophies, nothing, just paper. I mean, I can buy paper. It's not an issue. I can print it myself as well. I can print my own certificates if I'd like to. So even a printed certificate means nothing to me at a competition if I don't have something physical. Because then I'm asking, where does the money go? If you're giving everyone a piece of paper and you're having your event in a school hall, where does the money go? They have a profit margin then. I can guarantee you that specific competition has a decent profit margin, because they don't care about the contestants.
No.
They only care about money. Yes, this is a business. Any competition is a business. It has a business structure. Money comes in and goes out. But at the end of the day, we need to remember why are we doing this.
Yeah.
We are providing a service not to get rich. Yes, we'd like to thrive and not survive, but we are providing a service aimed at kids to promote. I've always said this, and I heard this in Ireland, and it snapped into me. Every dance competition director is a dance promoter. You are promoting dance to these kids, and you cannot forget that.
Yes. No, the notion, like you said, a business is a business. We get it. We understand your side of it as a competition owner out there listening to this. But I just wish the competition culture in South Africa could push more towards the kids, that parents could have more knowledge on this as to why competitions like yours, and there's a few others that are very similar, that are really trying to do the best for the kids as possible, and they're just not being supported as much as what they should be. And it's so sad.
So just to end off on entry fees and where they go, I know there's been a lot of controversy in the industry in regards to teachers adding an admin fee on top of a competition's entry fee. So if the entry fee is 180 Rand, they might charge 240 Rand to the mom. And I've had so many parents come to me behind the teacher's back telling me, like, listen, teacher A is charging so much more for your entries. We were with teacher B and she didn't charge this much. So for this specific mom, please relax. Remember that teacher, you're paying her time. If she's sitting there doing 70 entries, 100 entries for the studio, who pays that time? And I guarantee you she's sitting there for hours. So absolutely, I feel that it's 100% correct for a dance teacher who does all the studio entries to charge an admin fee on top of the entry.
Yeah, look, if doing entries of, let's say, like 100 items was easy, then the parents would just do it.
Exactly.
There's a reason the teacher's handling all of this. Plus the editing of music, guys. I do all these teachers that have 100 items they have to edit. My hat goes off to you. Well done, Miss Ma'am. Because bloody hell.
Okay, as long as Miss Ma'am just edits the music correctly.
Correctly?
Please, if you're sending that child out with a bad edit, it will affect their mark. You think music doesn't affect scoring? It does. Because musicality is everything. And if your music is cut badly, it affects your dancer's musicality on stage. So please, get someone decent to edit your music. If you're not sure how to put certain phrasing in a song together, that it has a strong beginning, energetic middle, and good ending, then get someone who knows what they're doing. None of this, let's just fade it out crap. Why? It's 2026. We have all the technology in the world. Edit your freaking music decently.
Yes. Yeah, and like Gabe says, if you have too many items and you're not coping, just get someone to help you. It's fine. It's okay. But just do it properly. All right, we're going to pivot this conversation to, I think, something that's also a massive debate at competitions is the judges. How they're selected, what is their experience, what goes on behind the scenes. Because, man, there are so many judges out there being selected purely because they are friends with the comp owner, but legitimately cannot adjudicate. They don't have the experience, they don't have the knowledge, which then falls into judges' bias at the end of the day. But, Gabes, I'd love you to weigh in. How do you select judges? How do you go about that process?
Great question. This question is not being asked enough. Parents are not talking about who the hell are these judges enough. So my process is as follows. Number one, I don't want all my events to be judged by the same people because regions are different and different regions have different strengths. So I always try to have judges that kind of equals that out. That being said, you want judges that's all-rounders. It doesn't help that you have a judge that only knows street styles, not in a competition where you have all styles. So I personally don't have a judge for every style. I have 3 or 4 all-rounded judges that know exactly what they're doing in the professional industry. Also, I like using judges that have a professional record, not just they've been a studio owner for 8 years. I don't like that. I don't think that being a studio owner alone qualifies you as to be an adjudicator. I'm sorry, my 2 cents. You can me if you want. My judges are all people who've been in the professional industry. My resident judge, who travels the entire country with me, is Pinto Ferrara. This a well knowledgeable man of all styles who's danced professionally in the Lido in Paris. He was a professional dancer. His career stopped due to a debilitating injury, and he had to return to South Africa, where he started to then refine his craft in dance, study dance thoroughly, and became a master in his craft. That is the type of judges I'm looking for. People who know everything. Also, you're looking for people who are quite big in the industry, and I'm not talking celebs, I'm going to touch on that shortly, but I'm talking people who have pull in the industry, like Rudy Smith. Why would you not want someone like Rudy Smith on your panel? He has been all over the world. He has all the knowledge that you want. I mean, that is the judge you need. You want judges like that. You know what I hate is seeing all the different competitions advertise their stuff on Facebook and Instagram, and you see the same faces for every competition. Every competition, judge this, and judge this. Next competition, same 3 judges. Next competition, 2 of the same judges with someone new. I feel like I stay away from using judges that other competitions use, and there's a stupid reason for that. As a dance teacher, if I just took my team to a competition where judge A, B, and C is judging, I'm not going to take them to a competition next week where the same 3 judges are judging, because I've already been judged according to those 3 judges' standard.
Yes. Yeah.
Does that make sense? So I always try to have judges who no one else have, and I always try to have contracts with my judges so that they're not allowed to judge for any other competition than me.
Yeah, okay, I see.
So when looking at judges' credentials, you want to look at someone who's knowledgeable in all styles, someone that has been in the industry, not just the teaching, choreographing industry, but in the professional industry.
Yeah. Who
has been a dancer, has been a teacher, has been a choreographer in the professional world. That is the main things who I look for.
Absolutely. I think it's just touching on what you said about if you're a studio owner that qualifies you as a judge. Man, oh man, it goes back to the saying of your work speaks for itself. You cannot be judging all these kids at a comp if your dancers themselves are not at an advanced level, are not trained to a point where if someone opened your Instagram, they'd be like, oh, I see why she's judging. Yeah, you can't just randomly pop on in there, you know. It's and on top of that, look, maybe you just unfortunately work with dancers that are more in it for fun. Totally get it, but then you should have experience somewhere else. Like you should be choreographing, doing workshops, like showcase the knowledge that you have, essentially on social media as well. Parents, when there's a judge being booked for a comp, go on Instagram and Facebook and check them out. See who it is. Yes,
beforehand.
They should.
You know what? V, as a competition director, when I had a full studio, you know what we used to do? I used to get the judges' details, stalk the hell out of them, and find out what they like. What do they like? Do they like mature pieces? Do they like frilly lyrical? What is the thing that they like? And then I used to choreograph specifically for that judge. And I don't see that happening anymore. People are not tailoring their choreography for whoever might be in front of them. And we need to remember, once again, dance is subjective. It's not going to be the same for me as it is for you. And I had this conversation with a contestant a week ago who was very upset because she didn't score very well. Well, she scored lower in Odyssey of Dance than in any other competition last year. And I told her, like, I'm really sorry that you're upset with the score that you received, but you need to remember that, number one, that was an international standard. And number two, every judge sees it differently. What Judge A loves, Judge B has a pet peeve about, you know? So you need to understand that whoever is in front of you, they might see you differently than the people who were in front of you yesterday. Yeah.
No, definitely. Look, it's very difficult as a judge not to bring in your personal opinion. It is incredibly difficult. Because obviously when you are adjudicating, I might be going on a different tangent here now, but when you are obviously adjudicating, the baseline is technique. We all know what technique is. If you're a judge that doesn't know what technique is, please get off the chair and don't do it.
Just go. Get
leave.
Up from the judging table and leave. You're excused.
Yes. And then obviously, you know, we spoke about this, I think, in the previous episode, just dabbling into the different styles and stuff. Your judges are looking for specific niches. And that's, I think, what you were referring to is like everyone has their niche for jazz. Everyone has their niche for contemporary and what, you know. And I do think researching the judges and checking that is so important. But I also do think it is very important for competitions if you have 3 judges. Sit those judges down before the competition. Make sure they're all understanding what the competition requires from the judges so that all of the biased opinion doesn't get filtered in and the judges are kind of like loose cannons at the end of the day.
Yeah. For the competition directors out there, remember you pay that judge. He's working for you. So like V said, you need to sit them down, explain to them what your standard is all about. Because it differs for every competition. It absolutely. There's just some competitions that's not as strict, has a lower standard, if I can call it that. And then you have competitions with a higher standard where judges are a little bit more harsh. I think people wonder, why is my kid not doing good here? Because our competition has a higher standard. If you want to get gold for pitching up, go to competition A. If you want to work for your spot, come to me. Let's talk about judges' biases, because this is a big one. And I'd like to start the conversation with an experience. So I want to touch also on hiring celebrities. So I was working for a different competition that used to hire celebrities to judge the different disciplines. Big people that was on Seven de Laan, and So You Think You Can Dance, and it's big names. But we had the situation where all the advanced kids were being ruthlessly marked down, and all the mediocre kids were given top scores. And this was something unfathomable to us until we realized that the pro that's sitting there judging is so scared that amateur kid is going to take his place or take his job that he'd rather mark them down and make them feel like shit.
Oh my gosh.
That's something I've seen with VIPs, like celebrities, over and over and over again.
That is insane. I'm like, actually, that just blew my mind. I've had similar experiences, not to that level, but I've just had experiences where I'm adjudicating, and a dancer that I would place first, second, and third would end up popping down all the way to 6th, and someone else is getting first. That technique was just not up to par. I don't know how that happened. And it turned out the other judge was kids that she liked, maybe just because of their look, maybe just because of an arm, or knew them. Yeah. She would give them 10 out of 10 for everything to boost the scores as high as possible. So regardless of what I was adjudicating, it wouldn't matter. And it was so sad because I actually ended up getting blamed for it by parents when I walked out, asking me, why did we do that? And I just remember standing there going, I did not do that. And it's so sad that competitions are allowing this to happen.
Yep.
It's
because
horrible.
Now it looks horrible for the judges. It looked like the judges didn't do their job right, or the judges maybe had some biases, which kind of did, but now
it's not everyone.
To the public, it looks like you guys as the judges were the ones causing this. Meantime, back at the ranch, it was the organizers changing things behind the scenes after the judges completed scores. This is what we spoke about at the beginning of the episode.
Yes, and it's horrible because your reputation goes down.
Yeah, no, that's true. And you as the judge, that you're the one that's taking the reputation dip.
You are.
Not the competition necessarily. I was working with a competition where, as judges, we were sat down before every event. Not the type of sat down which I spoke of now, like explaining the standard. But we were told, listen, guys, there's this studio, they're an up-and-coming studio. We need to have them win this year. So
no ways.
The management of the competition already predefined who they're going to have win because they felt like they needed to promote this certain studio.
Oh my gosh!
So I don't really care if that studio deserves the first place or not. It's just the bias that it's already decided before scoring has even started. And ladies and gentlemen, you have no idea how much this happens at how many competitions this happen. Because obviously, as a competition director, numbers are very important to your business. Yes. So if there's a studio that comes along that can bring 100 items to your event, what the directors do is they give those studios everything, and they just shove everything into this big studio because they want that studio to return next year with their big numbers.
Yeah.
That is where the lines get blurred between where's the business and where's the passion.
It's horrible that you are doing this to other kids. It is horrible. I just can't imagine doing that.
The thing is, studios notice these things. Afterwards, there's studios like contacting me. I'm not even with this certain competition anymore, but people are still contacting me like, listen, we won this and this and this. I just want to ask your opinion. Do you think we really won it, or did they just give it to us?
Oh my word.
How sad is that for a competition team director to not know if she deserved her overall or got it for free?
But stop going. Stop supporting them. Move on with your life.
You were supposed, you know what's happening. You're supposed to stop and go away. Go away from this bad people. This is juju. It's bad juju. But you keep going there. Why? Because number one, they're a little bit cheaper than the others. That's the main reason. They're a little bit cheaper than the others. Because believe you me, on regional level, you also just get a piece of paper.
Yeah.
It's one of those. It's one of those.
No, screw that. Just stop going. I mean, I've adjudicated comps. I will name because it's positive. SA Dance School Champs, where we were sat down about an hour before the competition started, and the judges were spoken to, and we were given a very clear direction. Obviously, they still wanted our opinions. We were hired for a reason, but they did just allow us to know what the comp was about, what was the level and the standard they were looking for, which truly helped to make sure that we were all on the same page.
Yeah.
But so many comps don't do that, and there's almost like there's just a leeway for one loose cannon to do their thing. If it's not the comp owner, it's another judge, unfortunately, and it's so sad.
Unfortunately.
So sad.
Now, as we get to the end of this episode, knowing all of this about competitions, knowing how toxic it is, knowing how it's sometimes rigged. Let's just call a spade a spade. Sometimes these competitions are rigged. Knowing all of this, why is it still so imperative that your dancers do competitions, big or small?
I can just see the moms listening to this being like, yeah, I want to know.
You just told us don't go
what
there.
What am I doing? What am I doing?
Oh my God.
No, it's still very imperative. And guys, there are some brilliant comps out there that aren't doing all these things. We just obviously want to bring it to your attention so that you know what to look for. But I think the most important thing for me is it's so important for these kids to get on stage and to have this experience. You do not understand the impact it has, not just for a career one day, but just in their level of confidence, their level of being able to stand there in front of all these people, dance their little heart and soul out, to have this goal to be able to do something. There's got to be a purpose in dance, and I do feel competitions brings that to the dancer, and it's so important you support that, because if you keep supporting, they will eventually reach that goal. Everyone grows differently. It might take one dancer a year, it might take another dancer 3 years, but I just think that for the dancer's sake, it is imperative to keep going. Just make sure you know where you're going. Don't go into everything blindly.
Make the right choices, guys.
Yes.
The choice at the end of the day is with the parents. They can research these things. They can make these choices. They don't need to follow anyone blindly.
Yeah.
To me, it's imperative that dancers go to these competitions because it's your best networking tool, apart from social media, of course. But the two together, being seen at competitions plus social media, that is the best marketing tool for dancers in South Africa. You need to be seen. No one's going to ever know about you if you're not seen. You're not going to get the opportunity to win scholarships to tertiary institutions if you're not seen. Like, especially with me. I can give you the world, babe, but you need to let me see you first. If you don't let me see you, I cannot give you anything. So you need to compete as much as possible. Personally, I'm scouting the entire country this year for contestants to invite onto the Euro Tour 2027. So I will be in the back row of every competition this year. So I want to see you. Let me see you, and I can give the world to you.
That is so true. All right, guys, that's it for today's episode on the competition industry. We really hope we brought some light to a lot of things that we have heard, behind the scenes from parents and teachers. If there was anything we didn't touch on and you have some more questions, we would love to hear from you. Please send us a message on @DanceDecoded Podcast on Instagram, and we would love to get back to you or address it in upcoming episodes. We hope you enjoyed this one with us, and we cannot wait for you to hear the next one. This is Dance Decoded.
Dance Decoded.